the UWM umbrella since the mid-90s, so it's been quite a while, but we didn't move our on-campus clinic out there until 2006. So we've been housed inside of CCHD. How many of you have been there? Okay, a few of you. I'm happy. Okay, so you know the location and what's all there, and we kind of look at it as a one-stop shop. So our collaboration with UWM allows us to offer a number of different services. And kind of the nature of what my role there is, my job as an audiologist, is we tend to see a lot of people with severe profound hearing losses. Some people are oral, some people use sign support, some use entirely ASL. Now, a little bit of background on me. When I first started with CCHD, my background in sign language was sign English, and that's it. I had taken a couple ASL classes, but as you guys may remember early on, is that if you don't use it, you totally lose it. You forget it, you have nobody to communicate with. It's not really practical until you have an opportunity to use it. So, back in the mid-90s, I would say, is when I started taking ASL classes here, and I made it up to ASL 3. So it was kind of out of necessity. I felt like really handicapped without having some sign language skills. So of the 3 audiologists that are there, there's 2 full-time, one of which is me, and then there's a part-time person as well. And I'm the one that typically has or sees all the people that use sign language in some form. Sometimes, though, I'm not available, so we hire interpreters, or even for me. I mean, and I am not an expert, so I'm not up here claiming that I'm an expert, but I can get by, and as long as people are comfortable. Sometimes they might have an interpreter the first time they come, and then after that, after they meet me, we communicate, they're okay with it. So, and then there's some where I need to have a deaf interpreter. So usually I'm the one working with the deaf interpreter if the deaf interpreter is comfortable with me. So we've had that kind of scenario as well. And there's times when the person doesn't request an interpreter, they come in, and I realize that I can't do this. So we may have to call in an interpreter if we can get one, or reschedule the person in order for us to be able to communicate, because I'm all about communication and making sure it's accessible and making sure the person understands. And over the years, just working with this population, working with people, I've kind of figured out, or I understand that somebody that's using ASL, everything is very conceptual, and I'm preaching to the choir here, I know that, but it took me a while in working with and using sign language to realize how conceptual the language is and how non-conceptual at times English is not. And so I'm using terms and looking at the interpreter saying, wait a minute, yeah, how do you explain that in sign language? So I think it's really good for you guys to hear the terms that we're using as audiologists and every day, and think about ways to explain it, because I have difficulty with that sometimes too. So if I have an interpreter, I'm like, you know what, you take it today, you rely on the interpreter instead of me trying to explain things. So that said, what I thought I would do today is go through a hearing evaluation from start to finish. I'm not actually going to do the evaluation, but I'm going to do parts of it. So that way you get an idea of what the parts are, and at least hear the portions of the evaluation so you can practice your interpretation and whatnot. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, well, I do need a guinea pig. I could have a guinea pig.
Maybe someone
to volunteer.
Observer. Yeah, Kelsey, go ahead. Okay.
I don't know where you want them.
You can sit, you know what, why don't you sit right here to start with? And we'll pretend, if maybe you turn a little bit towards me. Okay. So the first part of an evaluation when someone comes in is to take a case history. I'm just going to do a very brief case history. I handed out a copy of it, but there's some terms on here and some really important parts of the case history that I know and just dealing with it and trying to work with people, that it can be difficult to get the idea across what I'm looking for. Okay, so good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. What brought you in today?
My mom told me that I haven't been hearing her recently when she's talking to me, so she wants me to check and see if I have hearing loss.
Do you feel like you have hearing loss?
No.
No? Okay. That's a very common thing, that people come in and somebody else has brought them into the clinic. So your mom referred you?
Mhm.
Okay. So when does your mom think your hearing loss began? Like, how long do you think you've had one?
She says that it's been since I was a teenager.
Okay. Do you think one ear is better than the other? Are they about the same?
I think that probably my right ear is a little bit better than my left ear, because when she's on my left side is when she complains about it the most.
Okay. But is that the ear you also use on the phone?
I use my right ear on the phone.
Okay, so maybe that you feel like that's your better ear also because that's your phone ear?
Maybe.
That's a possibility. Okay. Do you think it began suddenly or gradually?
Probably gradually, because I haven't noticed anything myself.
Okay. All right, so do you think you were having any health problems at the time?
No.
Okay. Do you have a family history of hearing loss?
Yes.
Okay, who in your family has hearing loss?
Most of the males on my mom's side have hearing loss as they get older.
Okay.
But no deafness or hard of hearing at an early age.
Okay, I was gonna say anything early onset, no, okay. And have you ever had a hearing evaluation before?
No.
Have you ever had any exposure to loud noise at any point during your life?
Yes, I like to pump my music.
Okay, do you wear earbuds?
Yes.
Okay, and can other people hear your music when you're playing it?
My mom says she can, yes.
Okay. Have you noticed any ringing in your ears afterwards, after listening to music, or have your ears felt stuffy or full?
Maybe stuffy or full, just because it might be harder to hear other people after I take them out, but never any ringing.
Never any ringing. Okay, well that's a good thing. What about have you ever worked in a factory or been in the military?
No, I do work at a fast food restaurant and I have a headset on my head for the
Okay,
drive-through.
is it loud?
Yes, it can be.
Okay, ever experienced any pain in your ear relative to that?
No.
Have you ever done any hunting or target shooting?
I have, actually,
Have
yeah.
you? Okay. And do you wear hearing protection?
Yes.
What type of hearing protection do you use? Is it muffs or earplugs?
It's
The little tiny foam plugs that you put in your ear?
No, it's the big muffs that my dad requires me to wear.
Okay. Okay. And when you have the muffs on, is it soft enough? Do you feel like it's muffled?
Yes.
Okay. And do you ride a motorcycle, a snowmobile, use any power tools?
No.
Remember, we're pretending you're trying to go through all
Oh, yeah.
possibilities, okay? And have you done any construction work?
Nope.
Other than the loud music from your iPod or your MP3 player, have you ever been to any loud concerts?
Yes.
Yes. And ever sit next to a speaker, close
Yes.
next to the speaker?
It's usually where the cheaper tickets are on the side next to the speakers.
Okay, did your ears ring after a loud concert?
Yes.
Okay, and feel stuffy afterwards?
Mhm.
Okay, that's a sign that you've experienced a temporary hearing loss.